all to the greatest puzzle talk show. I'm your host, younger, better-looking Mike. If you're wondering what happened to older, worse-looking Mike, I got rid of him. There can only be one. I'm joined today by a fancy-looking Tone. What's going on, Tone?
I killed Mike. The old one.
Fuck. Didn't want to laugh, and I did.
The new one is better. He's better looking. He's clean shaven. Look at that. He's dressed a little nicer.
Than usual. Yeah.
A little.
I don't have a band t-shirt today. I'm wearing khakis. You guys can't see this. I'm wearing khakis.
He is
right
wearing
now.
khakis. He's naked from the waist down.
From the waist down, That's why it looks like I'm wearing khakis.
Mike does every episode of Puzzle Talk Winnie the Pooh style.
Oh, without pants? Absolutely. 100%.
Just shirt, no pants, like Winnie the Pooh.
Here's the thing, is that like when you're filming on location, especially when you're live, you need to be as comfortable as humanly possible. If you don't have that level of comfort, what's the point? What's the deal with you getting all fancy today?
It's Dado Day.
It's Dado Day! We're going to be taking a trip down to our friends Dado. They are in Connecticut, and we're going to be showcasing 9 of our Trapdoor Events games.
I guess the perfect timing for why aren't we live right now?
Yeah, right?
Today's episode is pre-recorded. We apologize, but we really had to pull all of our head counts because this happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But this event started with, I think it was 50 or 60 people.
Something around that, yeah.
That's what it was booked as.
And now it's
now it's 90.
Yeah.
So we needed to pull more people kind of last minute. So yes, we love you guys, but we needed to pull the streaming team.
And for your guys' benefit, to feel like it's a live show, we didn't rehearse any of this.
This is true.
We're coming in completely blind. So that's because we want it to be real for you guys. We love you, and that's why we're recording this. And with that, we actually have we have a great list of topics today, as well as a few announcements that we're going to be making at the end of the video. So stick around to the end. Don't skip to the end. I'll know what you do. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to get notifications for when we go live and when we upload videos. Smash that like button and let's jump into it. Google Escape Room.
What?
Look at what? Oh, finally, right now my sheet decides it wants to, like, the paper that I read off of wants to be like all weird.
How is it that when it's a pre-filmed episode, we're less prepared than when it's live?
But this Google Escape Room, so Google has been known to go a little over the top when it comes to the Consumer Electronics Show, or CES. Last year they brought an attraction similar to, like, It's a Small World to showcase one of their new products. This year at CES 2020, they instead brought a mobile escape room that forces you to utilize their Google Assistant to help you complete the escape room, which is a great example of how escape rooms are just used
in
for
so
advertising.
many different ways. Yeah.
Yeah. For advertising, even just kind of like, how can we make this product, sell? Make an escape room with it.
Yeah, I guess. There's so much escape room, everything kind of coming into the picture in 2020. I know just because I had, seen it first and submitted it to you that one of our upcoming topics is another major company getting into the escape room world officially.
Is it official now?
Well, as far as, like, there's designs, yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll get into that later in the video.
But, this was, and this is one of those that everybody had said, as soon as they do it, we're screwed. And I don't believe that. But we'll get to that later.
Yep.
But Google in general doing this, this is a temp. It's not like it's a permanent Google escape room.
No, it's not going to be a standalone. Go hang out with the Google Assistant, whatever the assistant's name is.
Right.
I actually have a Google Assistant at my house now. My mother-in-law got it for Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah, so now if I walk into the living room, I'm just like, hey, Google, and I get answered back at.
I wish I had less Google Assistants in the fact that every day there's a call or an email from Google because they want to set up a conference time so they can get on the phone and talk budgets and talk about our Google campaigns, because when you spend more than $150,000 a year in Google for marketing, you get assigned people. And those people are a little annoying.
Yeah, I can imagine that, especially when you're waking up every day to 20 emails or something
Yeah.
like that.
It's like, why do you want to spend less? Well, because of yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to spend less? But that is happening, or at least it has happened at CES 2020. I believe there are some pictures and maybe a video online. If you have a Google Assistant, let us know. Hey Google, how many people have Google Assistant? Could you imagine if we got someone that answered us? That'd be super awesome. This next topic is repeat players, and big shout out to, this is a suggested topic from our friend Adam, otherwise known as Major Chaos. What's up, Major Chaos? How you doing? Oh, you better watch this video, man. I put you in it.
Oh, he'll definitely be watching. I actually spoke to him the other night. I'm gonna have dinner with Adam probably within the next week or so.
Oh, nice.
To talk about a completely unrelated project.
Ooh, exciting. But, so Adam ran into a situation recently where he went to a game, he booked it, he and one other person, I don't remember who the other person was, and they go to this game to find that players who have already played the game are there. They've played this game now multiple times. It's the same theme, the same room, and while he was in the game, he and the person that he was with were useless. They couldn't do anything.
Well, of course, because the people in it played it.
So,
right.
This question, so obviously at the bullet point, should players keep doing the same game again and again? No, do something new. That's my opinion.
All right, I have other approaches to this.
How, as a game master or like a manager of an escape room, would you handle a situation where repeat players are in the same room as people who are first time to the game?
Okay, so we've tried to block this as much as we can. However, you don't have 100% control to block it every time. Now, here's protocol at Trapdoor. If you want to play the game again, that is perfectly fine, but it needs to be, we've gone as far as to give people half off.
I have seen that,
to do that.
I have seen that.
We have what's called our respawn discount, and we'll give them 50% off to play again.
I like that.
But
respawn.
Contingencies, A, it needs to be a weekday.
Okay.
B, needs to be a private game.
Exactly, to avoid spoiling the game for future players.
So what I'm getting at is that all of this needs to be preemptively set up. You can't just be like, hey, we're going to play an escape room tonight.
It is hard, though, when, like, a large part of people booking escape rooms is through websites like Bookio.
Yes. Now, having said that, we do have notifications on our website, like, that you can't play it, a second time without calling us. It doesn't mean people follow it.
Right.
We have had, I'm not going to say several, but a decent amount of instances over the years where, a group obviously has played the game and spoils 3/4 of it for whoever they're playing with. It sucks.
It's the worst, because you're going in for an experience, and it's supposed to be a new experience.
It's one of those situations of, like, these people are thinking of no one but themselves. You walk in, and, there's other players here. Well, we've played the game, so obviously we're going to end up destroying the experience for these people, but screw them.
I mean, at that point, just play a different game. That's why I keep saying, like, my whole point, even at the beginning of this topic, was play different games.
Unless
it's a private event, then
dependent
it's not bad.
Upon the game, though. For
That's
example,
fair.
We just had a group in Morristown over the last week that I ended up being game master for because we were overbooked.
Oh, gotcha.
And I had run Freak Show for them.
Okay.
Now, this was their first time playing Freak Show. However, and I don't have their actual list, but I remember I posted it on the team page after they had played. They played Escape the Architect. They played QRZ, I think, twice when it was in Red Bank.
Oh, wow. So they haven't played Poconos?
They played Witch Hunt.
Okay.
They played F5 twice.
That is a good one. I like F5 a lot.
They played QRZ in the Poconos.
Okay.
They played Boogeyman. They played Freak Show last week. And they booked Boogeyman again before they left.
Just to get it one last time before it's gone for a while.
Yes, but here's the bigger reason why they wanted to play Boogeyman again. When they played Boogeyman, and this goes back to some of the other previous things as well, and because I guarantee they're going to play QRZ again before the end of the year.
Possibly, sure.
Boogeyman is set up where if you're in a larger group, there's 2 entrances to Boogeyman. You could enter
yes.
through Alan, the brother's room, or Lily, the sister's room, who's been abducted by the boogeyman. They entered in Lily's room while half of their team entered in Alan's, and they never played that side of the game, the other side.
Okay.
So by the time that Group A got to the middle, Group B got to the middle, they had what they needed, they went to the boogeyman's realm, and they saved the children. Now they want to switch.
Okay, because that's still going to be a new experience for
Yes.
them because it's going to be on a opposite side. That's a little bit different if you're going to play like a carbon copy of the exact same over and over again rather than going to a game that
Right.
has replayability.
Right. QRZ, F5, oddly enough, because they're very good players, F5 they got killed in the first time and they
Oh.
lost.
Whoops.
So they went back and still had half the game to play.
Oh, wow.
They didn't want to have the ending spoiled, so they went back, killed the first half, and then still ended up like 40 minutes to do the second half.
The bar
F5
was tough,
just beat them up a little bit. But same thing happened with QRZ. So now the QRZ they played out here, I think they failed, but at the computer.
Oh, like at the end when they're making the cure?
So, but having said that, because of their group size, they didn't see a whole bunch of puzzles in the game.
So like one person saw one puzzle, another person saw another puzzle. Yep, that makes sense.
They subdivide into micro teams, and they don't really see what the other half of their group is doing. So now they want to switch back and see what they missed.
Hopefully
They're
they come
probably
back to
going to do the
bonus.
same thing to Freak Show. Because they
These
won.
These guys take their escape room seriously.
Yeah, they won, but they also missed out on a lot of content while the other group was playing it and vice versa. So there are instances where there's reason to play again because maybe
Sure.
you didn't see half the game.
Sure, that's a different perspective that I didn't consider, and I can absolutely agree with that.
And we have had groups that get halfway, like with Witch Hunt, we've had groups that literally got to the halfway point and thought they won. And there's still another half of the game left once you get to that secret room.
Oh, that's right, yep.
So, prior to getting into that secret room without spoiling Witch Hunt, a new entrance presents itself, and a lot of people are like, oh, this is the exit, we've won. And that's not the case.
Nope, it's a whole other half of the game. Sorry, the work is far from over.
Yeah.
I feel that happens a lot too with QRZ in certain parts of the game where it's like, did we do it? Oh, another door open? Never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. Because I'm
There's Mike
reckless.
bashing the monitor again.
And with that, we're going to tiptoe on to our next topic.
You know what
Thank
we need to do? We need to mount the monitor onto the wall.
That way, whenever I bump into the
so
desk,
that when Mike hits the
it
desk,
don't matter.
it doesn't matter anymore.
I've been saying this in my own head for a while. I'm glad you finally said it out loud. And with that, we're going to go ahead and roll on to the next topic. Big thanks to Major Chaos for the suggested topic. We appreciate it. If anyone else wants to suggest a topic, leave it in the
I'd
comments.
say final note on that, though. Call ahead. Give the company the opportunity to give you the game again so that you're not ruining it for other people. Another way that we see this a lot is kids' birthday parties.
Yes.
We will see the same, 3 kids. I could tell you flat out that there are 2 kids who have now played Freak Show 4 times. Because they're in the same, arrangement of friend groups.
Yeah.
And they've come as a field trip for school. They came as part of their Girl Scout camp. And they've come for 2 birthday parties.
That's okay. It's a little hard to avoid the replay of the game.
But now, at that
yeah.
point, I was there for their one of the last times, and I was there for a previous, and I went into the game and was just in character to not blow things for the other players. But I went in and was please just watch your friends play a little more than solving it all for them because they're not having a good time if you do this to them.
They're just running around watching everyone else solve all the
because that
puzzles.
person wants to play the I'm so smart role. And it's okay, of course you're so smart. You've played this 4 times.
Yeah.
That's not smart.
That's
That's
just memorizing.
embedded memory.
Yeah.
So, they're kids. I get it. They want to appear superior to their, to the other children in their group. But
For the customers who are not kids, do call ahead if you're coming to play the game again. That way you don't want to ruin the experience for new players.
You know, kids will do what they can to look great in front of their friends, whether it's cheating or knowing prior knowledge or
Finding
whatever.
to look smart, right?
You know, I remember as a kid we used to like have almost fierce competitions in the video game WrestleMania 2000 on Nintendo 64.
I played that game.
Did you know that if you wiggle the joystick when you're pinned, you'll break every pin?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. No, I've lost that game so much. I was not a smart gamer when I was yay high.
Yeah, if you do a counterclockwise double rotation, you'll kick out, guaranteed. It's a cheat in the game.
Now I have to dig my Nintendo 64 out from the basement. Hopefully it still works. It probably still works. All the technology from then still works. Yeah. Blowing us on into our next topic, we've got Mission Australia. A few less laughs here.
Ah, boy.
It is a tragedy what is going on or what has happened in Australia, and thank God for the rain that has fallen down. Not
The
in
world
Africa,
is
but
burning.
Australia. And I've heard a lot about the animals and the wildlife preservations that are working hard to save the lives of these animals and the habitat, which is why we want to give a big shout out to fellow escape room owner Jason Cherry.
What'd Jason do?
Jason, owner of Mission Escape Room in Annapolis, saw the fires in Australia and the damage to wildlife, and just like when he founded Siblings of Autism, he stepped up. On January 20th, 100% of the sales for every Mission Escape Room mission will be donated to wildlife centers in Australia. Not 50%, not 60%, 100% of sales.
He's just giving up a day.
He's just given up an entire day of sales to help out, and that's awesome. And it's great to see someone else in the industry doing their part. It's great to see that someone in the industry, you know, has the means to be able to reach out and do that part. So big shout out to Jason for that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And it's geez, what's going on in Australia is awful, just with the fires and everything. I saw a map of the flames. It's brutal.
It's terrible.
Our thoughts and our prayers go out, because that's as much as we can do as people.
I'm not giving any prayers, but I'll give you lots of thoughts.
Well, yeah. Views aside.
No, I've had, I think, 3 different arguments over the last week that Australia is biblical, and that, you know, Australia is burning because it's the apocalypse. And do you know how many apocalypse situations this world has seen already, and it's not the end of the world?
Was it Y2K, 2012?
The world has ended 50 gazillion times already, and then, you know, then the attack of, oh, you don't believe in the end of the world and biblical, you know,
We try not to get into views here. However, we very much trust our good friend science. And science says the world is on fire.
Well, I have two responses on this. One, for everyone out there in YouTube land right now or on Escape Stream that are basically saying, how do you not believe in a god? Well, how many do you believe in? Because there's like 3,000 different variations of gods worldwide. I believe in one less than you do.
I've seen that post. It's a good post. I agree with that.
Beyond that, taking this just a hair of a step further, uh-oh. Mike's sitting there, bated breath. I'm going to shut up now.
Just like, are we getting this out of him? Finally?
No.
Are we getting wild on the show?
We don't need a religion rant.
We do not need a religion rant. However, if you want to add tone on Facebook. But
just to attack me.
It's all right. We already have one person. It's all good. But taking a little bit of a step back, and, you know, just once again, big shout out to Jason. Keep doing what you do. This is a great thing that you're doing, and our thoughts go out to everyone in Australia and the wildlife out there. And we hope that from here that we can rebuild. And from this morbid topic, we go into what most think might be a scary topic, but might not be that scary at all. Disney escape rooms.
Huh? They'll never get out.
They're part of the cast of It's a Small World now. Rumors are sweeping the internet right now of the possible Disney escape room. It's been theorized a year before, and I think the person who theorized it has been making a bunch of Disney predictions
And many of them have come true. Yeah.
Almost 100% of those.
They have
predictions come
inside
true.
people in the concept art departments. That also goes along with, like, I've heard a lot of people, my wife included, has talked about where's the Coco attraction at Epcot, because the Mexico Pavilion has been rumored to be converting into a Coco themed attraction for quite some time now, and it never happened. But that restaurant is actually an independently owned restaurant.
Oh, okay.
So they couldn't reach a deal on that. But there was concept art, and there was like a ride designed to take place inside the restaurant, but it never came to fruition.
I'm wondering if it's because that stuff gets leaked that they just decide to scrap projects, because I
don't think it has
happening.
anything to do with a leak. I think it has more to do with the fact that they just couldn't make the stars align yet.
Projects to be saved for later, which
Yeah.
Disney is often known to do, is to store stuff in the vault and pull it out when it's, the
Correct.
right time.
Correct.
So there are theories all over the internet. What we where we found this theory was actually from a very popular YouTuber. I forget his name, but he Disney News. That it is, Disney News. And so I have to ask you, Tone, should we be afraid?
No.
Should any escape room owner be afraid?
No.
Why?
Well, couple reasons. One, they're not making worldwide Disney escape rooms.
It's gonna be. You think it's gonna be a park thing?
No, it's not even a park thing.
Okay.
It's resort only.
Ah, right. That was another point in the
The
video.
only people who are participating in these escape rooms are the people staying at a Disney resort.
Which is, they've got a bunch of them. There's that new Star Wars one that just came out, so I imagine.
Oh, the resorts?
Yes.
Yeah, there's countless resorts with California and with Florida, and then internationally. But no, this is smart for them. You've got people that are at the resort. Not everyone wants to spend every waking moment in the theme park, especially if you have multiple children. It's exhausting, and it's over budget for a lot of families. I had just recently read a whole report on Disney had, across all of its parks, raised prices 15%. They're really pushing wholeheartedly into how much more money can we take from the top percent of their client base, who has endless oodles of money, versus these elements now will strangle the middle class. Which the answer is then you just can't take your kids to the Disney park. And plenty don't. But everybody talks about the greatness of the economy right now. And there's things about the economy that are very good, and there's things about it that are very bad. It was, I guess, at this point now, 20 years ago, that there were reports saying that our economic plans were eliminating the middle class.
Yes.
And there was only going to be the super rich and low income. And we've seen that.
Yeah, it's
that's
pretty
that's
evident.
where the world is.
At this point now, I feel like there's not really a healthy middle class. You know what I mean? There's upper
No, there's
middle
not.
class.
There's not. And the
lower.
problem, everybody wants to attack these elements on a local state level, and you can't. This is an international problem because we are a global economy.
Yeah.
Beyond that, let's just even take it down a notch. This is a countrywide problem. You can't attack this as New Jersey to Pennsylvania to California to New York to Chicago.
It's the entirety of the United States.
You can't even just look at it one state. It's every state in our country. It's every municipality throughout the entire country. A perfect example of this is right now a heated topic is minimum wage. We've covered minimum wage discussions on Puzzle Talk before. But minimum wage is set to go to $15 in New Jersey.
Is it really?
But by the same time that it reaches that, which is just still a few years away, but when it reaches that plateau, PA will still only be at like 11. So, just you work this location more than anybody.
Absolutely.
How many of our players are actual Pennsylvania residents versus New Yorkers?
Oh, God. We get phone calls a lot for Pennsylvania players, sure, but I think 9 times out of 10 they're from New Jersey, New York, Maryland. Hardly anybody from Pennsylvania actually plays our Poconos location.
Right. Now, I do not want to start getting into a discussion debate right now over where minimum wage should be and where it shouldn't be. I've always had my own feelings on that. The problem is that my feelings are us as a company personally, where we have tiered advancement
Yes.
set up already, and we have people that started at $10 an hour and make over 20 an hour.
Yep.
So it's, but once New Jersey is consecutively at $15 an hour, the only people's problems you're solving are college students.
Yes.
It's one age demographic.
Yep.
Because 40-somethings can't afford to live on $15 an hour anyway. And what do you do with seniors? Senior citizens are on a fixed income.
Yeah.
The reason this is always a hot topic with me is because we have the home care agency that Jess runs.
That's true.
So,
and the problem with the problem with the elderly too is that by the time you and I are able to get to Social Security, it's gonna be liquidated. I think.
Completely.
Yeah.
100%. And beyond that, now those clients,
Yep.
what they're paying per hour has to keep going up as we have to keep increasing the wages of our staff.
Yes. Which,
where do they get more money from? They're elderly. They can't work anymore.
There's like way too many variables when it comes to raising the minimum wage, who it affects, how it affects it.
Yeah, the cost of everything is an issue. It's not, minimum wage is not the 100% marker in here. And this ties into the Disney discussion because how much do we inflate prices before there's kind of just no one in the world can afford it anymore.
Yeah. And we have to inflate those prices to not only keep up with the minimum wage, but also to compete with now competitors.
You got to compete with competitors. Rents and leases are going up across the board everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
We had considerable increases at every single location this year. And that's because they're all paying their staff more. It's as soon as that cost hits a CEO, the CEO goes raise prices or eliminate jobs. Target eliminated overnights.
Mm-hmm.
ShopRite eliminated overnights. A couple days ago, we had gone into Target like a week or two ago, and we're like, why are they stocking shelves at 11 a.m.?
Jesus.
It's because they're not stocking them overnight anymore. Those people don't have jobs anymore. Walk into any retail outlet. How many registers are automated?
Most of them. I think you get like maybe one or two cashiers, and then the rest.
Because a one-time fee of $5,000 or whatever to set up an automated register is way cheaper than keeping up with
that's
these
even
numbers.
happening at like fast food restaurants now with the kiosk touchscreens. You don't even
Everything.
need to talk to a person. Yeah.
Everything across the board. Everything across the board. So Disney raising its prices another 15%. How you're just eliminating more and more customer base, and you're sinking into.
Ultimately, this is going to cost them money. They're going to lose money over this because their customer base is going to shrink.
Right.
Even though it's costing more.
Those escape rooms in those resorts can be free to play, and you still will not get 75% of the nation to play them because they can't afford to stay at the resort.
I gotta tell you, man, I really want to try the Star Wars escape room because I know there's going to be one.
I am not even a fan at all of Star Wars, and I want to play it. And I think it was in that video that they were talking about the fact that a lot of this might be test sampling for the next Star Wars attraction at the hotel.
Because was it Rise? No, Rise of Resistance, that's what it was. Yeah, Rise, the attraction that opened up in Star Wars, which was linked to the resort. Which, everyone at the resort is in character constantly. Right. So I imagine the escape room is also going to kind of follow that same vein. Although I'll never be able to fucking afford it.
I might as well go to Disney at this point every 2 years.
Yeah. It's like buying the new iPhone.
Yeah. We were there when Liv was 5 months old, which I think I've told that story. We booked that trip before we found out that Jess was pregnant. And they were really super cool about everything because our doctor didn't want us going out there when she was pregnant for fear of Zika. So they held everything for our trip, but we had to use it within a year. So we went back when Liv was a few months old. And then we swore we weren't going back again until Liv turned 5 because we were going to do the whole princess package and the whole thing. and we have family that we want to see out there, but ultimately we just wanted to get out of Dodge and get to some warmer weather. And we're like, well, if we're going to Florida,
might as well. You might as well.
So we're going to Epcot, Animal Kingdom, and probably Magic Kingdom while we're there.
Yeah, I don't think the last time I went to Disney.
And then we'll be back again when Live is 5 for the original planned princess package.
You have to stick to the plan. Always stick to the plan. I think the last time I went to Disney World in Florida was when I was 13 years old, and it's like that's when like the biggest and like the most immersive attractions at Disney were that Lilo and Stitch thing, where it was like you're walking through a spaceship, whatever.
Space station or
space station. Thank you. That's it. There was Space Mountain was like also still top tier at that point. They had just put in that Yeti ride at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, Yeti was cool. Yeti's cool. I never went as a child. Really funny story is that I grew up. I'll be, this is always one day I have to actually record my whole story because it's fairly interesting.
Get a memoir going.
But as a kid, my stepfather worked his ass off, made good money.
Okay.
And I never wanted for anything as a kid, but we never vacationed. Our vacations were Wildwood because it was inexpensive and close to home. He didn't want to really go way too far in case of an issue with work.
Yeah, I've been to Wildwood.
So every summer we'd go to Wildwood, Cape May, and do like a week there. Okay. Sometimes we'd do it twice in a summer. But the argument there was always that you could do that trip very inexpensively. We were very good with incremental expensive things, not a huge sum in one shot.
Right.
Saving was not in any of our household repertoires. Still not in mine. But, and then I met Jess, and literally the first year I met her, we went to Disney.
That was, you finally, like, you had the opportunity.
And
like,
for Christmas, my in-laws had gotten passes for me to go to all the parks. And,
oh, wow.
It was a fantastic trip. They were not a very wealthy family at all. They were like at that line of
like middle class to lower middle class. Yeah, gotcha.
No, lower middle class to poor.
Okay.
But they still saved up and did the trips because they wanted to have that big event for their family, which was very sweet and very nice. And best vacation memories are with my in-laws and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law.
That's basically how my family did it too. We were, I don't want to say we were poor because my dad was a mechanic and he made decent money doing that at the time when being a mechanic was a good trade. So we would save up every year and take I think we've always gone to Florida. But we went to Disney World once. Years later we would go to like the other amusement parks down there. I've been to Gatorland. If anyone's a fan of Gabriel Iglesias, I've been to Gatorland.
But it is almost funny to the point of like the whole 15% increase and then the resorts and stuff like that is that when I was growing up as a child with a wealthy family, we never went. And then as an adult, I was dirt poor for a while. Like practically homeless poor for a while. And yet we still, as family trips, made it to Disney every once in every couple years. And it's not until we had opened Trapdoor that now it's, I could go yearly if I wanted, but
and now
it's
that
totally
you can
different
do
ballpark.
Now that you can do that, they're kicking up the prices at the parks. Like, yep, 15% increases.
But it's just the point of, like, it's almost a proof of concept there that lower income families are desperately trying to get their family to the world's most magical place. And by doing these increases, you're just strangling them that much more.
100%. You're completely cutting out an entire demographic of people.
Having said that, most of those families are not staying at the resorts.
No, definitely not. Are you kidding? We weren't staying at the resorts. We stayed at a hotel.
This is in February when we go. That's the first time we're staying at one of the resorts. I've never done it.
Which resort are you staying at?
I don't even know the name. Just booked the reservations.
Oh, gotcha. You gotta tell me how it is.
But, when we go back, we'll go again. Because there's actually, I didn't know this, but there's a ton of perks you don't get unless you're staying at a resort.
Like what?
For example, the parks are open later to the resort stay than they are to the general public.
Of course they are.
But you get a lot of other perks. There's like different food inclusion in the parks. There's
Okay.
different, you get like wristbands for the Fast Pass stuff. You get,
Oh,
like, a lot of stuff is included in your stay at the resort.
I always pay extra for the fast pass anyway. I'm just
Um,
fucking in line.
But, it's just, the amount of people that are going to be able to participate in one of those escape rooms is so small.
Yeah. 100%. So it probably wouldn't even make much of a splash in the escape room
No.
world. It's just
And it
another
won't be out when
attraction.
I'm there, so no, I won't be able to come back and tell you I played a Disney escape room
Maybe
because
they'll announce it while you're there.
yeah, it won't be there yet. However, when I'm back for Liv's 5th birthday, probably. Now, having said all that, some things that I've read up on in the meantime. One, they're not using any of their own IP.
Yes, that is true. So you're not gonna get like a Snow White.
You're not going to get Mickey's Escape.
Yeah,
you're not
you're
going to
not.
get, Elsa's Escape.
I
you're
think
not,
they're going to be themed to the specific resorts that they're in at the current time.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen. With
I am a
those.
little shocked that they're not going to try to exploit their characters
There's a
more directly.
huge missed opportunity for them not doing that because they could exploit. They have an entire arsenal of so many fairy tales and stories that they can easily turn. into
Elsa's
escape rooms.
Ice Castle.
I'm just gonna say Alice in Wonderland. I mean, come on.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
Down the line, there's so much content. I mean,
And they're just ignoring it because I think at the end of the day they
Escape
don't want
the Attic. It's Cinderella's original house. There's and your hint system is the little mice.
Yeah, no, he just pops up on a little hologram. I know you can do it, Disney. Don't say that you can't.
Yeah. There's so many ideas you could just run with. Moana with you could either do like the underwater fortress of the crab.
Oh yeah, the big crab that sings the shiny song.
Or
Finding Motunui or whatever.
Yeah, and the island of Te-Fiti.
Te-Fiti, yeah.
Finding the heart of Te-Fiti and placing it in for your final puzzle.
God, I know so much Disney trivia.
So many things
and they're just ignoring it just to make it.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Indiana Jones.
Oh, you know what? That's the other ride that I was on. I couldn't think of it. It was the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. That was a cool ride. There were you saw Jack everywhere.
I desperately want to see or go on the Shanghai Disney Pirates of the Caribbean. Look up a walkthrough on YouTube. It is a completely different ride, and it is
I don't know much about
superior.
I don't really know a whole lot about the international Disney stuff, so I'm definitely gonna have to check that out.
Absolutely amazing looking. They show a lot of it on the Disney Imagineers documentary on Disney Plus.
Right.
Awesome.
I get the feeling that with them, when not using these IPs, either this could be a test to see how well
it probably is. And this isn't the first time that they've tested waters. Disney offers escape rooms for corporate team building.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have for a couple years now, I believe since 2016. And I think they may have abandoned it, but because what they were doing was they were taking it quite a few steps beyond our team building off-site events. At the resorts, they would turn like banquet rooms into a massive, couple hundred player escape room.
Oh, jeez.
So,
I mean, spare no expense. This could also be a good business opportunity for other escape rooms, as if they could, ever work with Disney. Maybe I don't know how well Disney builds their own rooms, or if they would reach out to contractors.
Considering their Imagineering department, I'd be a little shocked if they outsourced.
That's fair. Yeah, I can't argue that. We'd love to know what you guys feel about this. Leave a comment in the comment section. Shoot a message. Just let us know how you feel about Disney escape rooms. If you're an escape room owner, how do you feel? And hopefully we calmed you down a little bit. You have nothing to fear. Before we cut out and end the video, we have a couple announcements.
We have a couple of announcements.
We have a few announcements we want to make.
Disney is infiltrating the stream. We have announcements.
Oh God, I can't breathe. It's the mouse. All right, anyway.
Mike just slowly converts into Mickey Mouse. Ha! I run the stream now.
It's done. That's when the mouse gets us.
Mickey Mouse escape stream.
We have a few announcements we'd like to make before we cut out and head over to Connecticut so we can do Dado. First up, Cure Z announcement. There's a 1-hour version of Cure Z available at Trapdoor Escape Room in the Poconos. Tone, can you tell us a little bit more about the 1-hour theme of Cure Z?
Yeah, we have a lot of teams that don't have the time to stay in the game for 2 hours.
Yeah. The
So
sheer size of the game is the draw on its own with over 10 rooms, 3,000 square feet. But as soon as you say 2 hours, that's when
I'd say I'm gonna go as far as to say, because we've been running it for a little bit now. There's probably 10% that take the game over the 1-hour game over the 2-hour game at this point, if that. But it's there for them. We like variety.
That's fair. And if you just don't have the time for a 2-hour game, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to check it out. So the new 1-hour version is available on Cure Z. Contact Trapdoor Escape Room, where you probably will talk to me or some other awesome salesperson and book your experience.
And then we'll have Freak Show doing the same.
Freak Show starts in February, correct?
February 1st.
February 1st, Freak Show gets its 1-hour game.
Now keep in mind, everyone, if you do the 1-hour version, you will be missing puzzles.
Yes.
There is content removed from the game in order to make it a 1-hour game.
But I guess that gives the game some replayability then, doesn't it?
I guess so. Back to topic number 2.
Hey. Anyway, next announcement we're going to be making, I talked about this last week, but New Year's resolution video special on January 27th at 8 p.m. Tune in to see our New Year's resolutions, what we've done in 2019, what we're planning on 2020. It's going to be
we've
great.
got special stuff.
We've got so much special stuff. And this has been the Monday Show. That's Tone. I'm New Mike. Old Mike is dead. See you guys next week.
Subscribe!